Smart automation, better business. Learn how to optimize your business with Solved.
Have you ever found yourself wrestling with a complex approval process in Salesforce, only to find that the classic approval tools just don't offer the flexibility you need? Maybe you've dealt with a situation where a simple approval needs multiple tiers or parallel reviews, and the standard linear approach just doesn't cut it. I'm Parker, a Salesforce consultant at Solved, and as a certified expert in Salesforce Automation Suite, we're here to solve complex problems and bring clarity to your most challenging technical issues. In this video, we're going to demystify Salesforce's modern flow-based approval processes. We'll break down their core components, walk through real-world implementation in Revenue Cloud, and by the end of this walkthrough, you will have a clear, actionable understanding of how to build flexible, multi-stage approval workflows that solve your most complex business challenges. Let's dive in. For years, the classic approval process was the go-to tool for managing approvals in Salesforce. It was reliable, but also rigid, with its single-path, linear design often becoming a bottleneck for businesses with complex needs. It was built for a simpler time, and its limitations become more apparent as business requirements evolved. Salesforce recognized these limitations and introduced a fundamental paradigm shift: flow-based approval processes. These are not just an upgrade, they are a completely new way of thinking about approvals, built on the powerful flow orchestration framework. This new approach allows us to build multi-level, multi-user approvals, integrate with external systems, and apply dynamic logic, all within a single unified framework. This isn't just an extra feature, it's a critical part of Salesforce's strategy to centralize all declarative automation into one cohesive platform, which ultimately reduces technical debt and improves performance. Building a flow approval process requires a clear understanding of its core architectural components. The foundational elements are stages and steps. A stage represents a logical phase of the process, and they always run sequentially. This is what you would use for a tiered sequential approval flow. A step is a single unit of work within a stage, and you can have multiple steps running in parallel. Steps can either be interactive, which requires human input via stream flow, or automated, which executes a background flow or system actions. Now let's dive into how you can build an approval process yourself. Navigate to the Approvals app within Salesforce. From the home screen, you'll have a number of options here. We are going to create the flow approval process. You can also review the settings here from the screen as well. You can make sure that your flow approval processes, that you can use advanced approvals, and how the individuals can get notified. But navigating back to our approvals homepage here, we can create a flow approval process. Gives you the option to either use the wizard or start from scratch. In this demo, we're going to use the wizard as it helps set up a very distinct path. Once I click wizard, it will ask for a name. Opportunity approval process. This will be the name of the flow that will be generated. You can create a number of approval levels. As you click each one, it will visualize here on the right-hand side what this flow will look like. For the dynamic ability, I'm going to choose 3 levels. I also want to choose some final actions. In this case, I want to make sure that specific elements on my opportunity are updated once this approval flow fully completes. I can also add a recall path, where if someone recalls a specific approval submission, it will perform necessary updates. Once I've set this up, I can click Done, and it will then generate my opportunity approval process. It will default each approval state and approval step. These are elements that I had spoke about previously. And it will also generate some specific decisions, which will be important as we dive into this process. This will generate an auto launch flow, which you can have be triggered off of a button or a number of other elements. You can also create a record triggered approval process. You'll do that from the flow screen, and you can choose the record trigger flow approval. That will allow you to, based off of specific updates to records, trigger this approval process. Once this approval process runs, it will trigger the first stage. You can specify the name of this stage and when it runs. You can also specify your approval steps. These will run in parallel. So make sure that you specify who should be the approvals in these approval steps, and you could also set up background steps. These will run flows to help gather information, update information, or finalize elements that are needed for the approval process. You can create auto launch flows that can then be accessible via the action on this background step. Once these steps have been completed in the process, our next element is the decision. It will review whether or not this approval has been approved by the necessary approvers, or if it has been rejected. You'll then navigate to approval stage 2. This would be a scenario where manager approves stage 1, VP approves stage 2, and can manage it sequentially. We'll follow the same process for stage 3, and then we reach our final steps where we can process an approved or a rejected approval. Here you can add, again, background steps that will then run to make sure that you update your opportunity to a correct stage, update a field on your opportunity based off the approval status, or trigger other processes within your system. This flow approval process dynamic functionality allows you to reach new limits in your ability to manage approvals on multiple objects within Salesforce. Great, there you have it. A quick introduction into flow-based approvals and why they are fundamental and a powerful new tool for managing complex, multi-stage, and multi-user approval processes in Salesforce. By understanding these core components, stages, steps, and evaluation flows, its seamless integration with the broader Flow platform, you can build dynamic and flexible workflows and go far beyond the limitations of classic approval processes. Whether you're using a tiered discount workflow in Revenue Cloud or simply to automate a complex business process, Flow approvals provide a robust and auditable solution. For more deep dive walkthroughs and expert insights on Salesforce Automation Revenue Cloud, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, as we will provide additional steps into how do I manage steps, how do I manage stages, and how can I make customizations to the interactions approvers and approval submitters have within flow-based approvals. We'll release content every week to help you get unstuck and become the go-to expert at your organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. We can't wait to help you automate your business. Please like, comment, or subscribe for more.